3 of election night here at Robert Morris University. Plenty of states are already in, and there are still plenty more to come. Welcome back to SCJ Presents Election Night Coverage at Robert Morris. Coming to you live from the Academic Media Center. I am Brooks Bratton. The polls in the Rockies close at this hour, and that means, John Clarko, that we are moving closer to learning who will win tonight's presidential election.
It has been a fun night so far, Brooks. A lot of key states coming in. The presidential election is just one race we're keeping an eye on tonight. We're also looking at local races, and CNN has projected Democrat Senator Bob Casey. Do we have those results? Bob Casey is going to win the Senate race in Pennsylvania, giving him a second term in office. How about that?
Well, that's a Democrat that's been in the Senate for a while here in Pennsylvania, so really not a big surprise there. And we were discussing before we came on the air, we really haven't seen any big surprises throughout the nation as far as the presidential races go either. We're
just getting word right now as well that President Obama is going to take New Hampshire. That's coming in as we speak right now. President Obama expected to take New Hampshire in this 2012 presidential election. Let's go over to Leah Fleischel. She is over at the social media desk, and she has more for us right now. Hi, Leah.
Hi, Brooks and John. Good to be over here at social media. Now, as you mentioned, New Hampshire has been won by Barack Obama. Additionally, Utah was won by Mitt Romney, as it was reported, leaving the electoral votes at 158 for Mr. Romney and 126 for President Obama. As we go over to Twitter, we see the Century updating us on the New Hampshire victory for Obama and also the projection of Mitt Romney winning Utah for 6 electoral votes. The trends have not been changing much. We still have vote Obama trending in the Pittsburgh area, which he has won Pennsylvania, sort of irrelevant, but regardless, also still election 2012, go vote, though most of the polls have closed. We're still seeing updates on that, though, and for that, we'll go back over to Brooks and John.
All right, thank you for that, Leah. We will be checking in with you throughout the night, and we've got more breaking news into the studio right now. And we are able to call that Governor Mitt Romney has taken the state of Utah out west, so some results finally starting to come in. We mentioned the Rocky polls are closing at 8 p.m. Mountain time and 10 p.m. Eastern time out here, so Mitt Romney has taken the state of Utah.
Not too big of a surprise there, Brooks. We kind of expected him to take Utah. We are going to go right now to Kyle Gorsey. He is out and about. He was at Democratic headquarters earlier, and Kyle's on the phone for us right now. Kyle, good evening.
Kyle Gorsey coming to you live again, the third hour at the South Side, the Allegheny County Democratic Watch Party. The excitement is so loud inside, I had to move outside because it's just so loud. Everybody is so excited. No results are coming in recently, but the crowd just keeps on cheering. It is quite the sight. Late Oil, Rich Fitzgerald gave a speech in the 9 o'clock hour saying, although the early returns are good, we need to continue to remember the election is not over, but they are very encouraged by this. Kyle Gorsey report coming to you live from Southside. Throwing it back to you in the studio.
Thank you for that report, Kyle. You heard him say he had to step outside. It's getting quite loud in there, and for a good reason. We heard earlier that President Obama is expected to take the state of Pennsylvania, so obviously here in Pittsburgh, people down there in the Democratic headquarters are pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it was interesting, Brooks. Just before you and I went on the air, I was in our newsroom watching some of these results come in, and Pennsylvania really, I thought it would have been a little bit closer than it was. Up until just even today, it was really a toss-up if you were looking at some of the polls, depending on which ones you were looking at. But President Obama really took it, and with a little more than we thought he would.
Well, and no surprise, Allegheny County obviously going Democratic as it usually does. The surrounding counties like Washington, Beaver, Butler, Westmoreland, Greene, just to name a few, all going Republican, but obviously Allegheny County with the higher population as well. Erie County in the northwestern part of the state going Democratic as well, and then of course some of the eastern counties out towards Philadelphia going in favor of Obama. So Most counties in Pennsylvania going red for the Republican ticket, but obviously much higher populations in the western part in Allegheny County and then out towards Philly as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that, Brooks, because we have seen that over the past couple of years. Pennsylvania really is a traditional Democratic state overall, but you did mention a lot of these counties are Republican, but with the population count, it makes up for it in some of these larger communities like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia and a few other counties throughout the state.
Certainly, and in just a few minutes we're going to toss over to a special guest, but we've talked all night, a lot of people getting out to vote. We've heard of long lines at the polling stations all day. We've had a couple of reports from Paul Wintruba, who's been out in Moon for us, discussing local polling results, and we are going to get to some breaking news right now. We've got an update in the Senate update coming in from the state of Massachusetts. Elizabeth Warren has won over Scott Brown for Senate. Scott Brown, of course, filling Ted Kennedy's seat, the former senator of Massachusetts. So that breaking news there from the state of Massachusetts in the Senate. Once again, Elizabeth Warren over Scott Brown in that Senate race.
That's obviously one of those high-profile ones that we'll be watching throughout the country as we continue throughout the night. Right now, we want to go over. Maria Motti is standing by with Dr. Heather Pinson, a great friend of ours, and they are right across the room from us, ready to talk to you right now. Hi, ladies.
Hi, John. Thank you so much for being here with us.
My pleasure.
I'm here with Dr. Heather Pinson, the current department head of the communication department here at RMU. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're hearing and seeing across Moon Township today?
Concerning the election, well, lots of feverish activity. Seems to be pummeling about. On RMU's campus, there's all the activities going on, the student organizations meeting, greeting, running from places to place, finding out where the newest polls have come up. So it's a great atmosphere, a great vibe, and definitely a great time to be on campus.
Why do you believe it's so relevant for students to be involved?
One, that whole civic duty thing. And then another reason was going to be because this is your future. For an entering freshman coming into RMU's campus, this is determining the next 4 years for them. By the time they graduate as a senior, that'll be another time to determine another president. So this is a really fascinating experience for all students to see and be a part of the editorial dictational process. So we're really excited to be encouraging our students participating from all fronts.
Awesome. Have you been able to participate in any of the student events?
Well, I've been doing my teacherly duties today. However, I do have a funny story with that this morning. I had to be on campus at 7:45 a.m., and which means I had to get to the voting poll in line at 6:45 a.m. So standing outside before the doors open, there's a long line of people bristling about in the cold. And I turn and look, there's a limousine that pulls up, all of the heads turn around and look. Out of the limousine comes Dan and Pat Rooney to come and vote because they live in our district and live a couple of blocks over from us. And so our first inclination is, do you want to get in front of me because you have more money than God? But they were very cordial, super sweet, nice people, and I hear that Dan Rooney just flew in from Ireland in order to vote for today's election. He's sticking around for the Steelers game here on Saturday, and then he's going to fly back to Ireland Sunday.
Wow, that's very cool. Can you please tell me a little bit about what you have done in your classes as far as the elections are concerned? Have you talked to the students at all about, you know, the process? What are you hearing from them as far as, you know, how they feel about the whole?
Well, the teachers, we kind of try to sniff out a lot of the students' concerns because we have a real delicate line. No one has ever heard me say in class, go out and vote for President Barack Obama or Mitt Romney or whomever. We're not ever going to say that. We do have to impress upon our students on a regular basis the importance of voting. So we do that either in funny ways, which I'll come in to my rock class drawing big blue eyes because after looking at one presidential election I found you know, bright blue eyes being a beautiful thing from Paul Ryan, and becoming a point of discussion for like the very beginning of class. So I thought he has very dreamy eyes. So that would start yet a fun day for class, but then turning to who watched the presidential debate last night? What did you think? So if we can get students to talk about and engage in conversation about this whole entire election process, then I've done my job.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much. We're going to go back to John. Coming up after the break, we will get a few updates from our live reporters stationed around campus. You're watching live election coverage on RMU TV. Stay tuned.